Welcome back. For years, the hunting rifle market felt stuck. You either bought a heavy tactical chassis or a traditional woodstock that looked great but couldn't hold a group. But after walking the floor at SHOT Show 2026, the script has flipped. Manufacturers are finally mixing aerospace materials with prices regular hunters can afford. I have handpicked the 7 rifles that are going to define this season. We have got 4-pound mountain guns and sub-$500 budget killers. So, grab your coffee, sit back, and let's dive deep into the top 7 deer hunting rifles of 2026. Starting off our list at number 1 is a rifle that honestly shouldn't exist. If you are a Western hunter, someone who chases mule deer in the high desert or elk in the Rockies, you know that weight is your biggest enemy. Every ounce counts when you're hiking up to 10,000 feet. For years, the mountain rifle category was full of compromises. If you wanted a light gun, you had to accept that it would kick like a mule, and the barrel would heat up and lose accuracy after 2 shots. Enter the Weatherby Mark V Backcountry Capra. Weatherby has claimed the title of the lightest production bolt-action rifle on the market. We are talking about a starting weight of just 4.0 pounds. Let that sink in. That is lighter than most .22 caliber rimfire rifles. How did they do it? They didn't just shave down steel. They switched to a titanium receiver. The Mark V action is legendary for its strength, but making it out of titanium cuts the weight drastically while handling the intense pressure of Magnum cartridges. But the real engineering marvel here is the barrel. It uses what they are calling a double helix spiral fluting. It looks cool, sure, but it serves a purpose. By cutting those spiral grooves, they remove a ton of mass without sacrificing structural rigidity. It acts like a truss system on a bridge. Plus, it increases the surface area for cooling. So, unlike the pencil barrel mountain rifles of the past, this one does not start stringing shots vertically just because the barrel got hot. Now, I know what you're thinking. A 4-pound rifle in a Magnum caliber is going to break my shoulder. Weatherby thought of that too. They partnered with Peak 44 to create a 3D printed recoil pad with a lattice structure. Instead of a solid chunk of rubber that bounces back, this honeycomb structure collapses to absorb the energy. It changes a sharp, painful kick into a dull shove. They also launched this rifle with the new .25 Weatherby RPM cartridge. It is a quarter-bore Magnum that shoots flat as a laser beam. If you are a backcountry hunter who counts every ounce of gear, this is the new gold standard. Moving on to number 2, we have the Savage 110 Ultralite Elite V2. This rifle represents a totally different philosophy. If the Weatherby is about traditional gunsmithing taken to the extreme, the Savage is about modern modularity and systems integration. Savage looked at the Precision Rifle Series, or PRS, and asked a simple question: why can't we have that kind of chassis performance in a hunting rifle? Usually the answer is weight. Aluminum chassis systems are heavy, but Savage teamed up with MDT to use the HNT26 chassis. The center section of this chassis isn't aluminum, it is magnesium. Magnesium gives you all the bedding stiffness of metal, but is about 33% lighter than aluminum. Then they added carbon fiber everywhere else. Carbon fiber forend, carbon fiber pistol grip, and a foam-filled carbon buttstock. The result is a chassis rifle that weighs between 5.8 and 6.2 pounds depending on the caliber. That is unheard of for a system this adjustable. And speaking of barrels, Savage is continuing their partnership with Proof Research. This rifle comes stock with a carbon fiber wrapped stainless barrel. Now, there is a misconception that carbon barrels are lighter than thin steel barrels. They aren't always, but they are much stiffer than a steel barrel of the same weight. That stiffness means consistent harmonics. It means you can switch ammo loads, and your point of impact won't shift as drastically. Another feature I love on this V2 model is the folding stock. If you hunt from a blind, or if you have to hike through thick brush to get to your stand, being able to fold the stock and strap the rifle to your pack is a game changer. It streamlines your profile so the barrel isn't catching on every branch you pass. Savage is also pushing the envelope with calibers here. They're offering this in .22 Creedmoor and .22 ARC. A few years ago, people would have laughed at using a .22 caliber for deer. But with modern fast twist barrels and heavy monolithic copper bullets, these rounds are devastating on whitetail with virtually zero recoil. At an MSRP of around $3,600, it is an investment, but you are getting a custom-level rifle right out of the box. Coming in at number 3 is the Bergara Premier CIMA Pro. Bergara has made a huge name for itself in the US market over the last decade, primarily because their barrels are fantastic. But with the CIMA Pro, they are tackling the carbon fiber stock market. We have all seen cheap carbon fiber stocks that are really just fiberglass with a carbon sticker on top, or hand-laid stocks that have voids and air bubbles inside. Those stocks can flex when you load up a bipod, touching the barrel and throwing your shot off. Bergara is using a new cure process, which is essentially an autoclave system. They bake the carbon fiber under massive pressure and heat. This forces out every microscopic air bubble and compresses the resin. The result is a stock that is a single, solid monocoque unit. It is incredibly rigid. This stiffness is critical for accuracy. When you are taking a shot at 400 yards across a bean field, you need to know that your stock isn't warping because of humidity or bipod pressure. They paired this stock with a skeletonized stainless steel action. They machined away metal from the receiver and the bolt handle to cut weight, but they did it strategically to keep the balance of the rifle in the center. A balanced rifle feels lighter than it actually is because it points naturally. It comes standard with a Trigger Tech trigger. If you haven't shot a Trigger Tech, you are missing out. It uses a frictionless roller system, so there is zero creep. It breaks like a glass rod. Bergara guarantees sub-MOA accuracy with this rifle. And honestly, with their barrel pedigree, I believe them. It comes in at about 5.7 pounds, which is a nice sweet spot. It is light enough to carry, but has just enough mass to be stable in the wind. Now, let's take a break from the multi-thousand-dollar rifles and talk about something that blew everyone away at the show. Number 4 is the Glenfield Model A. If you grew up in the 70s or 80s, you might remember Glenfield as the store brand rifles sold at Sears or JCPenney. They were working man's guns. Well, Ruger, who owns Marlin now, has brought the Glenfield name back to shake up the budget market. The MSRP on this rifle is $499. That means on the shelf, you will probably see it for $450 or less. In 2026, with inflation the way it is, that price point is insane. Usually, when you buy a sub-$500 rifle, you expect a gritty trigger, a flimsy stock, and a bolt that feels like it is full of sand. The Glenfield Model A is none of those things. Ruger has used their power bedding system here, which uses integral bedding blocks to lock the action in place and free float the barrel. Reports from the range day were saying this thing was shooting sub-inch groups with factory ammo. That is performance that used to cost $1,000. It comes with a threaded barrel, so it is suppressor ready. It has a scope base pre-installed. The trigger is adjustable from 3 to 5 pounds. And the stock, while synthetic, has this splatter finish texture that actually gives you some grip. It doesn't feel like a cheap toy. They are releasing it in everything from .243 and 6.5 Creedmoor to the classic .30-06 and the .350 Legend. This is the ultimate truck gun. It is the gun you buy for your kid's first deer season. It is the backup gun you keep at hunting camp just in case your primary rifle goes down. Ruger has effectively declared war on the budget market with this one, and the winner is the American consumer. At number 5, we have a rifle that brings back a classic concept for the modern woodsman, the CVA Cascade SR-80. This is a scout rifle. The concept was made famous by Colonel Jeff Cooper back in the 80s. The idea was a short, light, handy rifle that you could carry all day and shoot quickly with both eyes open. For a while, the scout rifle died out because scopes got so big and powerful. But CVA is bringing it back. And it makes perfect sense for 2026. Why? 2 reasons: suppressors and thermal optics. The SR-80 has an 18-inch barrel and a forward-mounted Picatinny rail. By mounting the optic forward, you keep the action clear. This is huge if you are running a thermal clip-on or night vision for hog hunting. Or if you just want to keep your peripheral vision open while stalking through thick brush. Because the barrel is short, when you add a suppressor, the whole package is still manageable. You aren't walking around with a musket that gets caught on every vine. It also comes with high-quality Williams peep sights. In an era where iron sights have basically vanished, having a bomb-proof set of backup sights is a massive selling point. If you drop your rifle and smash your scope 5 miles from the truck, your hunt isn't over. You just take the scope off and use the irons. CVA is offering this in .308 and .350 Legend. That .350 Legend model is going to be a killer for deer drives in the Midwest. It has a 10-round detachable magazine, a 70-degree bolt throw for fast cycling, and an adjustable length of pull. It is priced right around $900, which puts it in the mid-range sweet spot. It is a dedicated tool for the hunter who hunts the thick stuff, where shots are fast and close. Number 6 is for the 10% of the population that the gun industry usually ignores. The Browning X-Bolt II. The X-Bolt has been one of the best-selling deer rifles for 15 years. But this year, Browning made a huge move. They released the X-Bolt II in 6 different left-handed configurations. Usually, if you are a lefty, you get one choice, a black synthetic stock in .30-06. If you wanted a cool camo pattern, or a fluted barrel, or a Cerakote finish, you were out of luck. Browning has fixed that. You can now get the speed, the long range, the target, and the carbon versions all in left hand. This is huge. It means left-handed shooters finally get access to the same premium features as everyone else without having to pay for a custom gun. The X-Bolt II also features the new Veritech stock. This is a big upgrade. It allows you to adjust the comb height and the length of pull, but it also lets you swap out the pistol grip module. You can switch between a vertical grip, which is great for prone shooting at long range, and a traditional swept-back grip, which is better for snap shooting in the woods. The trigger has been redesigned as well. The new DLX trigger is a multi-lever design that eliminates creep. It comes set at hunting weights, around 3.5 pounds, and it breaks clean. Browning is proving that they are listening to their customers. They aren't just chasing the latest fad, they are making sure every hunter, regardless of which hand they shoot with, has a top-tier option. Rounding out our list at number 7 is a rifle that proves the lever action is not just a cowboy relic. The Henry SPD Predator. SPD stands for Special Products Division. Think of this as Henry's Skunk Works. They took the classic lever action design and modernized it to compete with bolt guns. The biggest issue with lever guns has always been accuracy. The magazine tube is usually attached to the barrel. As the barrel heats up, it expands and pushes against the tube, causing your shots to wander. Henry fixed this by free-floating the barrel on the SPD Predator. That is something you almost never see on a lever gun. It allows the barrel to vibrate naturally and consistently. Henry is actually offering a sub-MOA accuracy guarantee with this rifle. A sub-MOA lever gun. That was unheard of 10 years ago. It features a forged carbon fiber Picatinny rail on top. This drops weight from the highest point of the rifle, which lowers the center of gravity and makes the gun handle faster. It feels incredibly balanced in the hands. They are chambering this in rounds like the .350 Legend and the new .360 Buckhammer. The .360 Buckhammer is essentially a straight-walled .30-30. It gives you that classic deer-thumping performance, but is legal in states with straight-wall restrictions like Ohio, Michigan, and Iowa. They also have a .450 Bushmaster version in their Supreme line that takes AR magazines. If you hunt in heavy cover, where you might jump a buck at 30 yards, there is nothing faster than a lever gun. And now, you don't have to sacrifice accuracy to get that speed. So there you have it, the top 7 deer hunting rifles from SHOT Show 2026. We are seeing a market that is incredibly specialized. You have the Weatherby Capra for the ounce-counting mountain hunter, the Savage Elite for the tech-savvy long-range shooter, the Glenfield Model A for the budget-conscious hunter who just wants to fill the freezer, and the CVA and Henry for the deep woods specialists. It is a great time to be a deer hunter. The technology we have access to now, at these price points, is honestly staggering compared to what we had just 20 years ago. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Which one of these rifles would you actually spend your own money on? Is the 4-pound Weatherby too light? Is the $500 Glenfield too good to be true? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more gear reviews and hunting content. Good luck this season, shoot straight, and we will see you in the next one.